All right, welcome. Today, we're going to lay out the entire roadmap for mastering one of the most popular and, let's be honest, powerful programming languages on the planet, Python. This is it, your complete guide from zero to building cool stuff.
You know that feeling, right? When you have a brilliant idea for an app or a game or some website that could just make life easier, that little voice that says, I wish someone would build this.
Well, guess what? Python is the ultimate toolkit to make you that someone. It's like a Swiss Army knife for coders. Whether you want to build websites, dive into the mind-bending world of AI, or just automate the boring parts of your job, Python is the key. It's not just about learning to code, it's about getting a ticket to create literally anything you can imagine.
So let's get this adventure started. First up, what you need to know before you even type a single character. And here's the best part. The barrier to entry is super, super low. If you know how to use a computer, you're ready. Seriously, no previous coding experience needed at all.
Getting set up is actually a piece of cake. First, you just pop over to python.org and download the latest version. Second, you run that installer. It pretty much holds your hand the whole way. And finally, to make sure it's all good, you open up a terminal or command prompt and type python -- version. And boom, that's it. You're ready to go. Okay, on to section 2, where we get our hands dirty with the absolute basics. This is where the magic really starts to happen, because you're about to write your very first program and get that instant feedback that makes coding so addictive. And here it is, the rite of passage for every programmer on Earth. Hello world. That one little line using the print function is you telling the computer exactly what to say. It's your first real conversation with the machine. But Python isn't just for text. It's a powerhouse calculator right out of the box. You can throw pretty much any math at it. For instance, if you want to know what 2 to the power of 8 is, you just use 2 asterisks like this. And bam, you get the answer instantly. 256. See that? You gave an instruction, the computer did the work, and you got a result. It's that direct, and honestly, that's satisfying. Now, to do anything more interesting, we need a way to remember stuff. That's where variables come in. Just think of them as labeled boxes. You can have a box called name, where you store the text Alice, and another box called age, where you keep the number 30. And the really cool part? Python is smart. You don't have to tell it what kind of data you're storing. It just figures it out on its own. Okay, so we've told the computer what to do, and we've stored some information. Now for the really cool part in section 3. We're going to make our code intelligent. This is where we teach our programs to think, to make decisions, and to repeat tasks. This is the heart of programming. And the main tool for making decisions, it's these 3 keywords: if, elif, which is just a short way of saying else if, and else. This is how you build a decision tree in your code. You can say, if this is true, do this. Else if this other thing is true, do that instead. And if neither of those are true, then do this final thing. It's what makes a program feel smart. Now, what about doing things over and over again? Computers are great at that. We use loops. A while loop keeps going as long as a certain condition is true. Kind of like hitting snooze on your alarm until it's actually time to get up. A for loop is different. It goes through a list of items one by one, like checking off a grocery list. Both of them are your best friends when it comes to automation. So as our programs get bigger, just having single variables isn't enough. Things can get messy, right? That brings us to section 4, all about organizing more complex information. You can think of these as your digital filing cabinets. And Python gives you 4 amazing tools for the job. First, you've got lists. They're your go-to for a collection of items that you might need to change, add to, or remove from. Then there are tuples, which are like lists, but you lock them down. They can't be changed. Perfect for data that needs to stay constant. Dictionaries are incredible. They store information in key value pairs, like a user's name and their email. And finally, sets, which are all about storing unique items. Knowing which one to use is a real game changer. This next part, section 5, is a massive turning point. So far, we've been learning the ingredients. Now, it's time to learn the recipe. We're talking about object-oriented programming, or OOP, and it's how we build real structured things. The biggest idea in OOP is the class. A class is a blueprint. It's not the thing itself, but the detailed plan for it. So this class dog isn't an actual dog. It's the blueprint that says every dog we create must have a name, and every dog will know how to bark. Then you take that blueprint and you build something real from it. That's called an object or an instance. Here, we're creating an actual dog from our blueprint, and we're naming him Buddy. And now that my dog exists, it can do all the things we defined in the blueprint, like bark.
And this is the moment where it all just clicks. With everything we've covered so far, variables, loops, and these blueprints, you can actually build real stuff. I'm not kidding. A to-do list app, a calculator, a program that pulls data from websites, a tic-tac-toe game, these are all totally within your grasp right now. So that brings us to our last section. What's next? Because trust me, this journey doesn't end here. This is really just the end of the beginning. Once you have these fundamentals down, a whole new world opens up. You'll learn how to handle errors gracefully so your programs are rock solid. You'll get into some seriously advanced ninja-level topics to write cleaner code. And then you get to play with the big toys, the powerful frameworks that pros use to build massive web and AI applications. As you move forward, just remember this one key piece of advice, which comes right from the source material we're looking at today. Practice, practice, practice. And don't be afraid of errors. Every time you see an error message, it's not a failure. It's just the computer trying to teach you something. So there you have it. The entire roadmap is laid out right in front of you, from that very first hello world all the way to building real-world applications. The only question left is, what are you going to build first?